Oh, we back for number 3 now. And it's getting serious because we got a guest.
Welcome back, guys. Sage Delsol, your host, co-host Matthew Edland. Don't overtalk me while I'm talking about
Hey, listen.
Hey, we also got to my right.
Oh, we got somebody.
Mr. Blake Roberts.
Yes, sir.
What's up, man?
Happy to be here, guys. Happy to be here.
Dude, I'm stoked you're here. I'm so excited. We were doing the last episode, and we're at the end of it. We were like talking about
The fact that I'm the first guest is
first guest. Yeah.
Very humbling.
Yeah.
So
No, this is going down in history for sure.
First guest.
First
It's
guest.
pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So, how do we know each other, right? Blake, why don't you take that? Because I'm trying to remember. I know we talked about it like a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
Where
man.
did
I was thinking about it on the way here, and it's funny. It's not even.
Move the
We don't
mic-
have,
move the
like-
mic closer to.
We don't have like a like we weren't homies back in the day, but I feel like we just knew of each other.
Yeah.
And it was like
I always knew who you were.
It was through a girl. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
through a girl.
Knew who you were
We don't have
through
to
a girl.
disclose that.
Yeah,
but I was
yeah.
like, Sage seems like a
No,
pretty,
let's talk about it.
Nah, Sage seems like a pretty dope dude, right?
Yeah.
And so I was thinking about it driving here, how I've been blessed with these people that have been in my life prior. You too, Matthew. We have our own little story of at a bar,
Oh, yeah.
which I almost forgot
All
about.
starts
but
at a bar.
Yeah. But it's cool to have that come full circle and to be doing dope stuff like this with you boys.
No, for sure, dude. Like when we reconnected, right? Like, what was we went out, we did something. We were just hanging out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, my business. That's what it was. I was like, what connected us really? So we talked about my business, all that good stuff. We kind of, had conversations in that. And then after the fact, and we'll talk a little bit about like what you do, right?
Right.
But after the fact, I was talking with one of my other guys, and I was like, dude, that Blake guy, I was like, I knew him from a while back. It was cool having him around. Like,
Yeah.
And then on my own time, I'm thinking, I don't know if it's weird, and we'll maybe get into something like this on another podcast episode or whatever. But I think guy friends are really important. And I was kind of like going through my list of like who's actually close. Like obviously, all of you guys know Matt, best friend, 20 years, blah blah blah. But then you start thinking, like, all right, who else is in
You
the
have
circle,
to have that,
right?
You
I
do.
don't really always count just everyone I always see randomly if I decide to go to a bar after 7 p.m. But it's like, who's that person I can text or call or I can talk to them on social media where it's not just like a passing, like it's like, dude, I'm rooting for you, and they know that I mean it.
Right.
But anyways, long story to say, it's like I just knew like having Blake, in my life was gonna be a cool thing. I was like, dude, I like this guy. I think I vibe with him pretty well, and I know that I can learn from you. That's the big part, like, and not feel like inferior at the same time. Right?
That's what was on my mind when I was driving down here. Is both you boys have main character energy.
Yeah.
And I don't surround myself with NPCs.
Ooh.
I surround myself with people. You gonna drop that? I gotta surround myself with people that are making moves in life and growing. And if not, it's like we can be acquaintances. I'm gonna support you here and there, but like I'm not gonna dedicate my time to you.
Yeah.
Whereas with you boys, I can learn from you guys too, because I see y'all are both heavy hitters in your industry and you're doing cool, profound things with your lives.
Sure. Yeah. Try.
Facts.
We're all working towards.
Just
Facts.
take the compliment, bro.
I will.
I take it.
It's hard.
I took it for him. Don't even worry about it.
But in that, like on that same track, you start talking about business and heavy hitters. So you are a heavy hitter in your industry, and you're making moves
Appreciate that.
now. I don't know if you've made like an announcement on it yet. I know you're in the process of making some moves. If you haven't yet, we'll like skip over that. But you're making moves. You're doing a lot of different things. So I want to talk about a few of them, obviously.
Sure.
I'm gonna let you go ahead and take it off on the real estate side, right?
Yeah.
So on that, like, how did you get into that? What prompted you to it? What actually, even more importantly, like what got you to stick with it? Because I think just like people here know that I'm in the insurance industry, a lot of people decide to jump into it. And I think it's like literally the statistic nationally is 92% don't.
Within
keep going.
3 years, they're out.
They're out. They're gone. So the same thing applies to the real estate market. I mean, you can probably throw a stone in DFW and hit like
There's a lot of us. We're just like, here I am. So with real estate, that story starts with my previous job. So I was a director of supply chain at a sports supplement brand. I was there for like 3 years, and I enjoyed that at first. Then the company sold, and so naturally, when that happens, the culture shifts. And I was unhappy, right? So I found myself coming to work every day, and I was like, I lived across the street and I was late every day. And so when that starts happening, it's like you tell yourself, you're like, all right,
it's
bro.
really
like,
bad, dude.
Yeah, that's an eye opener.
I live 5 minutes away and I'm late every day. And so I came in, I talked to my boss, I was like, I'm out. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't feel fulfilled. I've got to go. So they actually gave me 3 months severance. The first month I partied. I had to.
Yeah. Not a bad way to quit.
Naturally. No, they actually threw a going away party for me.
Do you have any coaching on how you were able to pull that off? Like,
yeah, right.
I'm trying to quit my job, but how do I get 3 months of severance on top of like 2 weeks?
Basically, yeah, I told her, I was like, I want to quit. She was like, no, honey, we're going to fire you so we can give you 3 months severance. I was like, do whatever you want. Like, that's
basically,
fine. Just,
don't be an asshole at your job.
Yeah, for real. And they threw you parties.
And just be honest with them. Be like, this isn't working for me, but they still liked you. That's the whole point.
They're my family.
You weren't a dick to them.
They know who they are. I love you guys still.
And you quit in a responsible way. You didn't like not show up and ghost. Like, obviously they probably respected the way that you came in.
Did you?
No. I went on a vacation and a report was due and I was in Colorado and we got 6 feet of snow. And
how does that affect you doing a report?
There was no service, bro. Oh. And I just didn't want to because it
was raining outside.
Because I was in the mountains having a good time. And
there was no service.
Bro. I told her, I was like, I just can't. And also, I left my laptop at home on purpose. On purpose, bro. I was like, I'm not doing it.
You kind of were shit.
Yeah. No, I was great.
You were slowly trying to work your way out of the
company. My foot was already out the door. Yeah. And so back to it though, like they let me go. I partied for a month. But throughout that process, I had multiple people say like, yo, you've got this kind of outgoing, energetic persona about you. That would be really good for real estate. So I immediately was like, all right, let's do it. So I immediately jumped into a Champion School of Real Estate. One of my best friend's moms, she's been in the industry for like 18 years. So she kind of guided me, told me where to go. And then I jumped on with Coldwell Banker Apex. And so I was there for 3 years, and I will announce it on this show.
Ooh.
I will announce it because you might as well. So I have Coldwell Banker Apex was an incredible broker. Yep. They helped me get off my feet. They taught me everything I needed to know as an agent, but there comes time in life where you just kind of have to take that next step.
And before you announce it, first time y'all heard it here.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
All Facts Podcast.
You're hearing it here.
You're hearing it for the first time.
You're hearing it here. I'm not even, hopefully, whenever this comes out, I'm probably going to announce it on social media prior. Yeah. So it's just not like, I mean, but it's dope. I'm announcing
But if we're looking at our phone on the clock and the time, this is the first time.
This is the first time.
We're talking too much. Just get into it. Go.
Yeah. So I have since joined Compass. There you go. There's an incredible group called the Lamplighter Group over there, ran by two guys, Kevin and Ryan, and their message is profound. It just kind of aligns with what I'm doing. We'll get into that in a second, but the technology that Compass has that backs its agents as well is incredible.
Yeah,
and that's what I need, man. We're young guys, and so we want to be able to leverage my time, man. Like my job is to sell houses, not manage the entire transaction.
Yeah.
Like I want a lot of that stuff to be automated for me.
How many jobs do you think are within selling a house? You got, I don't even know.
Oh my God,
you're to list out jobs.
There's hundreds of people that are impacted by one real estate transaction.
Yeah.
That have that get paid off of that.
Right.
I want to be able to sell the house and then have everything else automated, but like have it put together really well so my clients feel like I'm supporting them. But also by being able to use those systems, I have more time to stay in touch and communicate and make sure that they're doing it okay.
Yeah.
What also comes with this switch is I'm rebranding myself. I'm now going to go as the mental health realtor. So we're gonna get into that here in a second because we'll talk about my brand. You're wearing it.
Y'all will know where that comes from in just a minute.
That's
awesome, man.
But so I have a pretty profound story, and mental health is huge for me. And so I did a SWOT analysis. I'm sure you guys know what that is, like strengths, weaknesses, opponents. And I realized there's no agent out there that I can find that's doing this to where they're doing a great job. They're serving their clients, but they also have, this initiative to make sure that their clients' mental health is doing well. They've partnered with a nonprofit that they believe in that supports and spreads mental health awareness, and then sets up and does, just charity events. Like I want to get real big into doing charity events and putting my energy back into the world where it needs to be. It's like I'm selling houses, but I also want to have an impact elsewhere.
Yeah, you're bringing your purpose into your
100%. I'm combining my purpose, which is spreading mental health awareness, with my passion, which is selling houses, which is just like,
do you know how
that's going to be dope?
You know how much of a blessing that is, dude?
So rare in this day and age.
First, you have people that don't even know what they want to do to make money, right? Then you have people over here that don't know what their quote unquote purpose is.
Sure, yeah.
Right? So I don't know what a statistic would be for this, but just from my own point of view on the world so far, I don't think there's a lot of people that ever bring those things together.
They don't. There's a lot of people that die without feeling like they had a purpose. And it's heartbreaking.
It's
heartbreaking. For some people, your purpose can be so simple though. Like if you don't have that like groundbreaking, like I'm gonna spread mental health awareness for multiple reasons, but like you're just being a dad. Like there are fathers out there that don't feel like they have a purpose because they don't see the beauty of having 2 children that they're raising in front of them, you know?
Yeah.
That's being self-aware though. It's being self-aware. You can hit the button again if you want.
Hit the button.
That's profound. And I really like how, and just like you just touched on it for a second ago, but the difference between, I think a lot of people too get confused on what their purpose is, right? So like you use the example of having 2 kids. I think a lot of the times parents will get in this mindset where it's like, well, yeah, my purpose is to serve my kids or to build a foundation for my kids, but that's a small piece of it, right? Because then you get into this rat race of doing the same things over and over, or staying at that job that you hate simply to be in this moment of like, well, this is my purpose, so I have to do this. I can't leave this because then we'll lose that, right?
Yeah. You've got to have, that's what I've realized too, is you have your career, but there has to be something outside of it that feeds you and recharges you as a human, or you're going to fail.
Dude, I'm going to interrupt real quick.
Yeah.
That was a big part of the thought process that went in behind starting this podcast.
Yeah.
Like if I'm being super transparent, I just was getting like bombarded with all things work, insurance agents, this, that, the other thing, right? Which was fine. And in the beginning, like it was like I took pride in having that amount of like pressure, that. Right? Yeah. And I still obviously have pride in there. Yeah. But I was like, I gotta like have some sort of outlet. Not just I was gonna say outlet. So not just outlet. Because I mean sometimes people can take a negative perception on outlet. Like, oh, I gotta, use this as an outlet. Yeah. But I wanted to have an outlet that could recharge, like you said, that could recharge my primary focus, which is like my career, my business, right? So being able to do this podcast, talking with you, talk with Matt every week, having that outlet, if you will, but it serves me, which in turn serves my business, and it keeps me going. It keeps my brain more fluid versus more like blocked or frustrated. Or if one thing frustrates me over here, like let's say something pissed me, I was on a call before we walked up here, right? Yeah. Let's say that was a bad call. It was a good call, but let's say it was a bad call and I'm pissed off from the call. Right. But then I come into the podcast and we're talking about some other stuff, and that just like recharges my ability to have a good call the next time. That kind of deal.
Have to have that.
Yeah.
Have to have that.
I like that a lot.
And then also this podcast is going to serve others if the message and the things that you guys talk about resonates. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
You know
all facts. All facts. All facts. So you talked about your mental health awareness.
Yeah, so
let's go deeper in that.
We kind of did it backwards, but this podcast is all about business and stuff, right? So we talked about that, which is real estate, which real estate is my passion. I love selling houses. My purpose is spreading mental health awareness. And so we can see it. Sage is wearing my shirt. Just Another Reason to Live is actually a brand that I launched May 4th of this year. Was actually the 21-year death anniversary of my dad. So I actually lost my dad to suicide when I was 7, and that changed my life. My mom never remarried. She's a strong, independent ass woman, and I love her to death. She's my best friend. But like,
I need to meet your mom one day.
You're gonna meet Peggy. Peggy will love some Sage. She will, and Matt.
Peggy, we might have to have you on the show. You might have to come up here.
We could do that. She's gonna listen in. I'm sure she will. But there's a lot that you miss out on as a child when you don't have a dad in your life, right? And so it took me 21 years to really start that journey towards healing and kind of having that self-awareness of like, all right, there's some things that I wasn't told, I didn't have that confidence instilled in me by a dad. Yeah. So I had to figure a lot of that shit out on my own, and that was like through negative outlets too, because as a young boy, you wanna impress your homies. You want to do like whatever you can when that comes into like drugs or women and all sorts of stuff.
Sure.
Kind of going off on a tangent there, but like,
oh, this is good.
Yeah, ultimately, Just Another Reason to Live is a brand that I launched May 20th, 16 days after my father's 21-year death anniversary.
Yeah.
because I actually was struck with the idea to create that brand on May 4th. It wasn't my idea. It was actually my best friend Blake McNeil's idea. He gave me that idea. And within 2 hours, I had the name. So my dad's name was Jeffrey Allen Roberts. Just another reason, JAR, to live. Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I just thought the logo, I thought the brand.
The name's
thing was
cool,
dope.
right?
Yeah.
But like it goes deeper than that. That's my dad's initials.
Damn.
You
That's
liked
sick,
it.
huh?
You gotta hit the
Sick.
button. And that's what's cool is like I thought about it. That was a very emotional day for me. And what sucks is May 4th is National Star Wars Day. So I'm reminded of that shit. But when I see Baby Yoda, I swear to God, dude, I was at the gym and I saw a Baby Yoda photo and I'm like, there's a grown man crying while doing bicep curls right now. Like, I've gotta go.
It's like other guys in the gym, like, dude, he's working so hard, he's crying. Like,
Yeah,
I gotta
bro.
step up.
Oh man, if I ever see a dude crying while like working out, I'm like, I'm gonna give him a hug.
Yeah, talk to him.
Or I'm gonna walk away because he's about to kill somebody.
Yeah.
But yeah, so within 16 days, I had the name, I had the shirts, I created the website, I launched it. You know, we're not very big yet, but the goal and the purpose is just to remind people that you're not alone. Like just another reason to live. Like what we're doing right now, this connection and this conversation we're having is just another reason to live.
Right.
Waking up every day, your family, you know, being able to eat, you know, having a healthy body. These are all things that are just another reason to live that we take for granted. And I feel like if we have a little bit more self-awareness of all the blessings that are in our life and all the reasons that we do have to live, it makes it a lot easier to push through struggles or anxiety or depression,
for sure.
or even contemplating suicide, which like I've personally been there. I'm like, a lot of people struggle with that shit. And
I think more people have than
nobody wants to talk about it.
Nobody
though.
admits how many.
Yeah.
times
And so that's part of the purpose too. Right. And so like,
especially for males, like
oh, for sure, dude.
It's kind of a trend this year, right? Like you
It
see
is.
a lot of that. So
You're
yeah,
brought up
I
to
think
hide that,
that's-
to bury it. You're a man, you got to bury that shit.
yeah,
That's like the
don't cry,
mentality.
rub some
Yeah,
dirt in it.
Exactly.
yeah.
Like you got to
Yeah.
be the man in the family. You got to take care of this. And I don't want to get you off topic, but there was
No,
one
you're
thing that I want to mention. So for me, the biggest thing that kind of impacts me, or the biggest thing that I think about when you talk about starting your brand, is like you said, most people could take that as a negative outlet and just stay right there.
Yeah,
Right. They
yeah.
could have gone deep down every May 4th. They just, you know, they're
Mhm.
like, fuck the world. This
Yeah,
sucks.
yeah.
Whatever. But you chose to take that and go, okay, so I can either sit here and wallow in this and keep in this depression and this darkness, or I can step out of this and then help other people out of this as well, which I think for me is like the biggest thing. Cause it's
Yeah.
like, you know, everybody hears about suicide rates. And what's funny is I actually looked up a statistic, and for males, the suicide rate is higher if you're actually in sales. I did
Yeah.
not know this.
It was funny that actually, that's not funny to say it back. Sorry,
Yeah.
but that does
It
make
makes sense, right? Because you have a higher, you're already a guy, and then
Yeah.
you have higher levels of stress
Yeah.
because you've got commissions and you've got all these other things that a lot of people
pressure.
think is,
pressure,
they think it's fun,
Yeah.
and it is, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, like they always say that example, like the highs are highs in sales and the lows are lows.
And they're
And the
low.
problem, the low
And
is
the
can be
low is,
real
especially
fucking
if
low.
you're in like
They're
high,
low, man.
if you're
Yeah.
in like high income sales too.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
let's say, I mean, even in real estate and insurance, whatever. I mean, let's say you sell like planes, like
Mhm.
something stupid, right?
Yeah.
Something crazy expensive.
Yeah.
And if you're in a low,
Yeah.
let's say, I don't know what the average, like how many planes you should sell per year, but let's say you're supposed to sell 10 a year and you sold one, like that's a big
You
low.
probably want to jump out of a plane
Probably do.
with no parachute
You're
on.
right.
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
mean,
saying.
that's
Like
just- it can
it's
get
stressful.
bad.
Yeah.
It can get really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we were talking about a lot of in the last episode, we were going over a lot of like the job market and things like that, which this is a topic we didn't talk about, but I think, and it's changing a little bit right now. And there's some stuff I agree with and some I don't, but how do I want to word this? Not just your bosses, but like the managers on staff or the people that are in position of leadership, like the way that they used to coach against sales, I think is shifting.
Yeah.
And I think like I said, some of it's good. I think some of it's cool, but some of it I think is not going to help long term. Like they're getting really like lax and easy on things like that. But I think
the correct word is pussified.
okay,
just facts.
Well, it's
Listen,
pussified. But I think that if I don't know if they're using as much as the mental, and the reason I'm saying this, not to go crazy off topic, because I'm talking about with the mental awareness, right? So like a lot of companies they might like say, "Oh, we have a therapist you can talk to," or but they just like throw that out there, like here, it's on a piece of paper, and if you want to go figure it out, like one day you have to call HR, leave a voicemail, shoot an email to get that therapist
which
phone
is
number.
shitty.
It's terrible, and it's going to be probably a shitty therapist because it's like included in your benefits. But if they were to keep the same level of rah, of push, of motivation, of expectation of sales, but they also brought the level of mental awareness and making sure that their guys are well taken care of. I think that would, I mean, it would not cancel it out, but the problem wouldn't lie the same way the problem does currently.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the show Billions? Freaking love that show. The show gets me going.
That is a perfect example.
So
because
in that show, one of the highest paid salary employees of I forget the dude's name, of the guys Axelrod of Axe's company is that chick, and I forget her name. Wendy. Man, you know what's going on.
Dude, all right, talk about how you love the show. You don't even know characters.
I freaking love the show. I was just have like my brain just does not compute all that at one time. So you got Wendy, one of the highest paid people in the company, literally there just to make sure the sales floor is in the right headspace.
Which is incredible.
And she's there every day, all the time. I don't know what it looks like in the regular just corporate world, if that's something that's semi-normal, if it's normal at all. But I mean, if I'm in that position, that is a necessity, dude. Like it is. Because instead of Axe going like, oh, we're gonna be super nice to our sales guys, and you guys just, it's okay if you don't hit your quota, like it's all good. Hell no, just hire a freaking Wendy. We gotta be careful
on lawsuits. Don't say that.
Just hire Wendy.
Yeah.
Get the headspace right, because it can help long term without having to drop the expectation of that is sales.
We're gonna see a shift. It's starting to happen. I know from the people that I know that are heavy players in the mental awareness community. That the smart companies, especially in like roofing industries where you've got boots on the ground that are spending hours every day interacting with humans, which is exhausting. There's companies, there's one in specific, I won't name them, but they've brought on a life coach who's killing it. That's just once a week training their employees on mental health tips, or just how to make sure you're level-headed, you're clear-minded, you're ready to hit the streets. But not only that, like when you're done, how to decompose or decompress and make sure that you're still okay and recharging so you can continue to go out there and thrive. And that speaks volumes, because that shows that that roofing company truly cares about their employees.
For sure.
100%.
Yeah.
I think the easiest thing for somebody to do is to put on a face, to put on a smile. Right. I always heard it like the backwards, like it's hard to put on a smile when you've had a rough day. I think that's the easiest thing to do to mask your emotions, is to put on a smile, especially whenever using roofing sales, because we both came out of that industry, right? Like same thing. That's for
dudes too.
That's a high stress, and a lot of people don't think it is, but it is. And I think a lot of it is, especially when you talk about knocking doors, right? Like for the average person, you may hear no 5 times a day. For the average roofer, you hear no 15,000 times a day, right? I mean, knocking on a door, F you, shuts the door. Like that is a lot for a person there. It's like, oh, just keep going. Just keep going. That's that's what we were trained on, right? No means next opportunity. It's like, that's true. But at the same time, like that's a hard hit.
And not everyone can get past the lesson that you learned through that.
I
mean, that thing built up freaking, if you could look at a callus mentally, like I've got crazy calluses with that. Like, I don't give a shit how many times someone tells me that, bro.
Exactly.
I don't give a
I can
shit.
tell.
There was a lot of growth out of it.
It doesn't bother me at all. I smile. I'm like, all right. I mean, you know what I mean?
That same industry has killed sales guys, though. Because the complete opposite.
Sure.
That probably could have been really good if they had the proper training or the proper understanding of like how to take no and be like, all right, and then go to the next house.
Yeah, for sure.
And make a joke out of it. Like we used to do that constantly, right? We'd go knock a door next door after this dude just told us to fuck off and he was going to shoot us in the face. And we'd go up to a nice old lady and be like, hey, your neighbor, I think, is probably abusing his wife or something, and like make a joke out of it and then made a sale.
Yeah, you convert it. Yeah. Which is, it's great to have that mentality shift.
But you know what helped with that too? Was that we did it together at that time.
True.
Which goes back to the fact that dudes have got to be able to talk to their other dudes about things. You got to have
good male friends.
Because if you don't, we started that together. We started when you did the insurance deal with me, we did that together. And I think the reason why we've been able to work our way through these things, like you said, the average sales, I probably was the average sales guy, but because I had someone running the race with me, I was able to push through those things because it didn't seem as bad, or I didn't have to treat it as bad as it might have been in reality. But I had someone running the same race with me, which I think is really important, because I don't know I'm not sure how deep people go into that with like a sales guy. Like they don't necessarily, if you had like a sales floor, let's say you're like, oh, dude, car dealerships, right? I highly doubt, and I've never worked in a car dealership, so I can't say this for sure, right? But we can ask Blake after this. Other Blake. If you hire a sales dude, I don't think they go, hey, you and what's your name? Ryan? Cool. You and Arthur are going to be best friends. And you guys are going to talk about every little thing that you love about work and that you hate about work. And you guys are going to be able to push each other. They don't do that.
Yeah.
Dude, Arthur hates Ryan that just started because Arthur thinks Ryan's going to take his prospective clients. Everyone's pissed off alone in the corner over here. They're like, that guy, he's new. He's not going to do well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's not the way that it should be ran, but I don't go too crazy off team. I want to go back to your mental stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I want to talk about your wristbands because I think that is the most brilliant piece. And I love all the other merch you've got. I want to talk about that. Obviously, I have a shirt on. He's got one of the newer shirts, which I'm pissed at you because I still don't have one of those.
I'm waiting on mine. FedEx is taking forever.
Oh, you haven't. Did you order actually?
No.
You haven't ordered shit, bro.
He knows, bro.
You haven't ordered shit.
I'll order shit right now.
Your name, dog.
You're going to do it after. He hit me as soon as I hit it. But the bracelet, I think, is one of the most ingenious
we got to
see that.
things. So talk to us about how you thought of it, what it is, what do you do with them?
Yeah. Well, so in one of the key elements of the brand is like 90% of the proceeds go to the National Alliance on Mental Illness, which is also the nonprofit that I'm going to work with as a real estate agent, which is how I've married my passion and my purpose.
Got it.
Wow.
The National Alliance on Mental Illness is a beautiful nonprofit that was started in like 1979, I think. But they have really cool online support groups that you can simply sign up for free if you're struggling, which I personally was on those support groups last year because I was struggling. And that's why I chose them. But like, it was just so nice for one to do it from the comfort of my own home because it can be very intimidating to be vulnerable in person with people that you don't fucking know.
Yeah.
And so that pulled me out of depression. It was one of the components that pulled me out of depression last year. That's why I'm using them. And so back to these bracelets though. When it comes to creating the brand and selling shirts and stuff, I think it's impactful. Obviously, you know where those proceeds are going, which is great. But you can wear a shirt and know that you're supporting something great. But until you actually really have like a one-on-one interaction with a person, which is what I started doing almost damn near every day since I created the brand, because I realized like if I'm gonna back this and honor my father and really support the mental health awareness community, I've got to put myself out there and start talking to people and just start like connecting. And like the biggest thing for me was like compliments, like just complimenting a stranger. Complimented this dude's shoes. He's got some fly shoes. He's sitting over there.
He does have some fly shoes.
He does. But like a compliment is the quickest bridge to a connection.
Shout out to John who edits all our videos.
Wait, hold on. I want to say that one more time.
A compliment is the quickest bridge to a connection. There it is.
Bro, that's
a good one, right? That's a good one.
Thanks for saying it again. I missed it.
You're welcome. I'll write it down if you want.
Put it on a t-shirt and sell it.
I might.
That's a good idea.
But so I was doing that daily, but I was like, I want other people to share in this experience because it's almost like a high when you realize that you've had an impact on somebody's day. Like,
yeah.
And so one of my big questions is like, I'll ask a stranger on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you? And you either get like a very bullshit, like surface level answer, or you get like, I'm a 3. And I'm like, oh shit, why are you a 3? And that starts the conversation as well. And so
I like that.
Yeah. It's such a simple question.
Say on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you?
Yeah. In life, like how happy are you on I'm like a 9 right now because I'm walking in my purpose every day, which is dope. But like there's other people out there that are lost that need help. And if you're asked such a simple question, imagine you're having a bad day and like a stranger comes up to you on the street. It's like, yo, that shirt's incredible. Let me ask you a really weird random question, bro. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you? And that kid might have been thinking about jumping off a bridge later that night. And by starting that conversation, and if he answers, maybe like a 2, I'm just not doing well in life right now. I'm going to do whatever I can to try and instill some sense of hope into that guy, which has happened to me. Like I've had that experience before.
Out of curiosity, when you ask that question from your own experience, what's the majority of people answering? Like on that scale, what do you typically get feedback?
That's a good question.
A lot of people answer near the middle, which is a bullshit answer.
Yeah.
If you tell me you're a 6, it's shit. Like give me real. Like I want at least a 7.
Like you give me a 2 or an 8.
Or you're going to be sub 5 and we're going to talk about it. And I'm going to give you whatever advice I can. But that's why I created the bracelets, because I was having these profound experiences every day And so the bracelets simply say, I'm happy I met you. They've got my website on there. I got to plug myself if I can.
Absolutely.
But then on the inside, they say never lost, always found, because the goal is to wear that bracelet and just be self-aware of your interactions with people. Mm-hmm. I give a lot of these out to cashiers because like those people don't get checked in on. Yeah. But the goal is
they hate their day.
They do, bro. Like they do. But so the goal is to actually wear the bracelet and then pass it down. Because it's never lost, always found. You know, you hand it off to somebody else and say, hey, like, I really am happy I met you, you know, and then explain the meaning behind the bracelet and you give it to somebody else. Yeah. So, and what's cool is there was an experience that I had where I was at a pool party. I gave a bracelet out. And then my buddy, he's a VP of a roofing company. He was in San Antonio like 3 weeks later and he saw a bracelet on a guy in the lobby. So it hasn't, they haven't like gotten out of Texas yet. Wow. Maybe they have, I just don't know. Dude. But he FaceTimed me.
You know how many we're going to pass out in New York, right?
Yeah, we do. We're going to pass a bunch out.
Like a bag of it.
We will. Yeah. But that gave me goosebumps because I was like, okay, like they are working, like people are passing them down. And I was able to have a pretty cool conversation with the guy who was wearing it.
That's incredible because it's such a little, it's such small. A little thing. And like I was saying, we got to see this live when we went to whatever that Mexican restaurant was called.
Yeah.
Macero's.
Great salmon.
And right as we were about to leave, you gave one to the server, right? And so naturally, and I remember I watched him walk away. Naturally, I would think like, oh, this dude's just gonna put his, but like he put it on. Yeah. He put it on and walked off.
You know what
and
he probably felt. You know, I mean, I don't know what his schedule was that day. What his like time?
Yeah. That was his first. Remember that he said that was like his first week too. He was brand new there.
Yeah, and he's probably working all damn day. And I was busy as fuck that night. It was like a Friday night, right?
Yeah,
it's busy as shit. Everything's going crazy. I mean, we were probably pretty needy. You know, we like our ranch waters.
Yeah, we were needy with the limes.
But he walked away and he put that on so fast. Yeah. I mean, he put that on like he like literally, it looked like to me that he had found purpose in that moment.
Hey, if I can give that to somebody, then that's dope. But I mean, it's cool. It's cool because I think as people, social media has really gotten in the way of connection. And so naturally,
just funny because that's what it was created for.
Yeah.
This is the complete opposite.
Shit. But so like we go out into the world and we're like, this is my bubble. This is my safety bubble. Don't talk to me. Like, let's not communicate. That's what I'm trying to break with these bracelets is like, I'm going to go out into the world with a little bit more awareness of who I interact with and spread some loving kindness and see what happens.
Fucking love it.
And it's dope. It's like a little burst of adrenaline when you see somebody smile that looked dead behind the eyes 30 seconds before.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it doesn't hurt that you're pretty good looking at the same time.
Thank you.
You're probably smiling at like I feel like words and you look so good.
That has to help with your career too, right? I mean, you're a realtor, so any kind of interaction. Like I remember whenever we used to do credit repair back in the day, and we'd go to like these networking events with these realtors, and they would always have these signs like 100 connections could possibly be one deal or something like that. So it's like realtors are programmed to like say hi to everybody.
Yeah, but I want to do it the right way, which that's where the mental health realtor is being born at. Like that's the intention behind it is like, I'm going to be genuine when I talk to you. And like, I'm not only going to serve you as a client, I'm going to become your friend and somebody that you can rely on, not only in like the most stressful chapter of your life, which is buying or selling a house, hands down. Like, that's the biggest check that you're going to write for most people, you know, and there's a lot of stress that comes with that. So I want to make sure, obviously I'm going to give them the best damn experience as it relates to buying or selling a house, but I also want to check in on them throughout the process and make sure that they're okay. Sure. Losing an offer on a house that you've already mentally moved into is devastating. Mm-hmm. And I have to tell those damn clients, like, especially when it was in a seller's market, it has shifted. Just FYI, we're officially in a buyer's market. So whoever wants to buy a house, hit me up, holler at me. But
we're going to throw all your stuff in the
okay.
Big plug.
Okay, cool. But so like I had people that mentally moved into a house that were devastated. And I'm like, losing an offer can be exhausting, especially if you lose 5. But there's mental health techniques that you can use to kind of breathe and balance out that process and still make it enjoyable, you know?
Yeah,
for sure.
That's huge, man. I kind of want to, real quick, I want to shift gears into the other thing that you're also a part of. I don't know if you can talk about that, but, you know, because you're obviously a good looking dude like Sage was just hitting on you 5 seconds ago about. And you just showed me that badass workout video.
Yeah.
And to talk a little bit about, because I know, I mean, like everybody talks about this constantly now, but working out and staying in shape is a huge part of mental health.
Yeah.
So speak a little bit to what you're doing there.
It's damn near, in my opinion, I might be a little biased because I'm like I have to work out or I'm unhappy. But I would say that like physical fitness almost comes before anything else in life, because if you don't have that, it doesn't mean you have to work out, but like if you're morbidly obese, how are you going to be happy?
Yeah.
If you're out of shape and the richest man on the planet, you're probably still going to be kind of insecure and unhappy, right? So like having physical fitness for me is everything. Like I have to have that.
It's always been something for you?
It's been like 12 years, man. Yeah. So like I was in high school, dude. I was so skinny. I grew up extremely picky.
I know. I saw pictures of you.
I was a twig, bro. So like I do suffer from like a small case of like body dysmorphia. Like I did not wear shorts once in high school. I didn't, because I was so afraid of people judging my skinny ass calves, which they're still skinny, but I've worked on them. Okay.
Progress, bro.
Yeah.
No. I've hit leg day with this dude.
Yeah.
Shit is no joke.
I made you suffer.
That hurt, bro.
Yeah, we work.
That hurt.
We work. But yeah, I mean, fitness is huge for me, especially if you're self-employed and you're an entrepreneur. If you don't have that, it's just going to be harder to stay energized, in my opinion. So like, and for me personally, I'm a morning guy, and I used to not be. I used to like stay up late and I would sleep in. And then it's like my day gets started already, and I'm like, how am I going to squeeze a workout into this, you know? And so I actually read a book called The Miracle Morning, which you should check out, which is just all about getting your day started by like 5 a.m. And that works, especially for both of y'all who have children in your lives. Like, I don't know if y'all wake up at 5 a.m.
I'm up at 5:30.
Okay, I'll give you that. I don't think you wake up. No, you just look like you.
My fiance's up at 5.
We'll get you there one day.
It's like 6:45. So.
Okay, we'll work on it. But just being able to wake up that early and actually get your heart beating is so beneficial to the mind, and like getting you in the zone to go out and conquer your day, however that may look. You know, it's been a huge component of stress relief too. Like the gym is literally my sanctuary. Like if I'm depressed,
for sure,
I go to the gym, because when I'm under a barbell there, I can't think about being sad. I'm like, I have to lift this shit off my chest.
Your focus is on one thing.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's hyper focused, literally, because you're fighting gravity. Like you gotta lift this shit, you know.
I like that you talked about doing it in the morning, man. I used to, so like some years ago, I would work out in the morning really consistently, like 5 a.m. in the gym every day, and it was cool. And then, to be honest, I think it's when my daughter was born, like 2 years ago, and I switched from that and I started doing it in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. But then I got to the point where I had to literally, because in the business that I'm in, and even the business I was in before, none of my days were the same. Like I haven't been in a business where like my 9 to 5 is essentially the same every day since 2016.
Yeah, you and I share that too.
Right.
Yeah.
So since that, and I think a lot of people that listen to this podcast, even if you're not in a business where you control your entire day, but it's funny because when I say we control our day, we really don't. Like shit comes up, clients, you gotta do this, you gotta hit a
if it ain't scheduled, you don't control shit.
Yeah. So then that brings me back to what I was saying. So I had to schedule the gym, like usually be between like 11 and 4 at some point every day, but I didn't have it as a consistent every single day I'm in the gym at this time, because I could not like commit to that,
right,
because I had all this other random stuff that could hit. So I just recently got back into being in the gym early in the morning, and ever since I did that, like my day just seems to go by not easier, but like if I can use the word cleaner. Like
don't you kind of feel like a boss too?
You do, and then I think you feel good because you already did it.
Yeah,
right. You already hit the gym. Yeah. You already everything else you've been. That's on your calendar that you've been attempting to get done throughout the day. Right. The gym is not something now. It's like, oh fuck, am I going to go to the gym? Am I going to let myself skip the gym today because I needed to get on this call, or I needed to get this done, or I got to pick up my kids now because my wife has to go do that. Whatever. Yeah. It's already out of the way. It's done. And then, I'm gonna be transparent, right? Someone calls it like, hey, you want to get a cocktail like 5 o'clock? I'm like, you already in the gym. Yes, I'm gonna get a cocktail at 5 o'clock. You know what I mean? Yeah. But if you hadn't hit the gym yet, you're like, I gotta go to the gym. Yeah. So that's helped a lot. Okay, we're getting close to the time that I want to hit, but there's something we haven't talked about yet. And this is something I know nothing about. This is going to be completely you educating us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So some of us listening might have heard the term microdosing.
Drugs.
So like shrooms, mushrooms, whatever. Yeah. I know nothing of the sort. I never had the desire to dive in and learn it and understand it. I know like TikTok shows me like ads for it all the time.
Advantages of microdosing.
You know, it's like
Mhm.
I quit drinking coffee. I do this now. So I'm just
Yeah.
curious, like, you don't have to go to a long spiel on like, where did you think about it, hear about, just why do you do it? What does it do for you?
Mhm.
Whatever.
I'm on a microdose right now, just FYI.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
All right.
100%. And so
I'm
like,
with it.
How many fingers on? I'm just kidding.
yeah.
I'm with it. I'm with it.
But so for me, my story with microdosing actually started in 2019, and I had severe anxiety problems. And I'm obsessed with Googling stuff. Like if there's
Master
something,
Googler.
yeah, bro, I call it GTS, Google that shit. Like if I have a problem, I'm going to figure it out. And so like naturally you think of going like antidepressants, anti-anxiety medication. I Googled it. There's horrible side effects and I didn't want to deal with that. And then I also went like the more natural approach, and it just opened up a whole can of worms. Like, so microdosing is essentially taking 1/10 of the dose of a psychedelic drug, typically LSD, or
What's a dose?
a dose.
It depends.
Varies by body weight.
Okay,
You know,
got it.
yeah, it depends. You can, yeah.
So you got
So
like
you gotta-
a
you gotta
scale
Google
and
it.
you're like, "Man, that's
I take it
Wednesday.
pretty
That's
seriously.
Tuesday,
Yeah, I
Wednesday?"
encapsulate
Really?
mushrooms, and I take them Monday through Thursday.
What do you do on Friday? It's just like
It's already the weekend, so I'm like, you know, I've already
in a
done the
better vibe.
grunt of my work for real estate. You know, sure, I'm going to show some clients. I might have an open house here or there, but I'm going to enjoy that a little bit more than the nitty gritty stuff Monday through Thursday that I feel like, you know, having that microdose in my system helps push me through. So like for me personally, what I'm feeling right now is just a little sharper, and my mind is a little bit, it's broader. I don't know. I feel like I can discuss topics.
you don't feel like you have like tunnel vision. It's more like
No,
open,
yeah,
you know?
like I can just touch on anything, and I love it. And so it's actually been proven that psilocybin, which is the active ingredient in mushrooms, is neurogenerative, which means it causes new neural pathways in your brain to develop.
That
Which
weren't there
is-
before.
No, exactly, which is profound. And so like
Wow.
that's another reason why I do that. So like most people would be like, why would you take a small dose of a psychedelic drug and go into a new environment? But the reason is that drug causes new neural pathways to form. So you need to put yourself in that new environment so they're locked in, and you learn quicker.
God,
Does that make sense?
Damn.
that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
I would have never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
I've always heard microdosing is like, I always thought about it, and this is probably completely wrong, but I always
Yeah.
thought about it as like a way to basically like maintain a high, go throughout a day and not have to like focus on things. I never
Mm-mm.
thought about it as a way to like almost open up and be able to accept new information a lot better
Yeah.
than you would have done
Have
naturally.
you seen the movie Limitless
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
ZT?
Yeah.
That's
So-
kind of how I feel about it. Like it just, I wish it was
You
that.
like look
I
at
wish
the
it was.
ceiling and it's just stock.
No, I wish it was that dope. It's really not. Like,
It's kinda
I
how I
promise
feel.
I'm not like hallucinating right now. But I feel sharper. I feel happier. I don't deal with anxiety or depression anymore.
Where do you get it?
We just. Why you gotta ask me that question,
What?
bro?
I don't know, like Amazon or something.
Yeah, what's your
No.
dealer's name, number, and address?
No, we have
No, I'm
safe.
Just, I'm just messing.
We have safe sources. Do not contact me for my source. It's private, but it's changed my life, and it's
Yeah.
something that I feel confident in. Obviously, sharing with you guys. I think in the society that we're in now, people don't like what, he takes a small dose of psychedelic drugs every day. He's weird. It's like, no. Once I found out that Steve Jobs did that, and he like was the G for.
I remember seeing that in the movie.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of incredible, powerful entrepreneurs out there that have done that, and it's changed their lives. Like it gave them it sparked the creativity in their mind
Mm.
to create something profound like Apple or Macintosh. you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think it's powerful, dude. I
Yeah.
was talking to oh man, I can't remember the guy's name. I was at some meeting and some guy was there that I hadn't met before, and he was telling me that his wife's boss was some super successful dude,
Yeah.
and he in the last I think it was 2 years ago, he went and did I guess they could just call it a retreat.
Ayahuasca.
I was
don't know
about to
where.
say
It
ayahuasca
might
I want to
be.
do one of those.
And they went
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's like in a controlled environment.
Uh-huh.
And I'm pretty sure it's basically LSD.
There's a shaman that's present that
Yeah.
or like they make like a tea.
Yeah.
And you have
You're
to
like
do it
out for like
Tea.
24 hours or some shit.
Yeah,
right?
you-
Like,
and it's normally
this
it's
guy was there for like 5 days. Like
Yeah, it's a
he was
retreat.
there for like they called it. Oh man, she told me it was like the initial like
I'm gonna need the details on this.
I got you. So it's like
name, number, email.
Before they went into it, I think they said it was like kind of like a 2-day deal.
Yeah.
And then it was like the last day and a half to 2 days was kind of like recovery mode, and like also to start talking about, almost like talk about your feelings you just went through, you know?
Exactly.
Instead of just like having this massive like eye-opening, brain-opening event and then just flying back home and telling you like,
no, you got to process it.
You got to process it. The
Yeah,
person that knew how that person needed to react was processing it with them. And I'm sitting here listening and I'm like, the whole time I'm thinking to myself, like, would I ever do that? And so I'm thinking like, dude, I would maybe do that one day. Like that's the opportunity.
Let's go together.
So wild, dude. Let's talk about it.
Yes.
I'd be scared shitless, dude. I don't know if I can do it.
So someone came up to me like here and they just walked in the door and they said, yo, I got this opportunity. You guys want to try this right now? I'm like, fuck no, get out of my face.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like the whole, you know, it's literally a controlled environment for it. So it just got my brain thinking like, if people that, and this, like I'm telling you, this guy was like some super successful tech guy. He's a tech guy, right? And I'm thinking a guy like that, family, his wife's the one telling me about it. She's like, I would never do it, but he understood this and he was telling me about this. And like, she understood exactly what and how he needed to do it.
Yeah.
And they went through all the details with it. It's not just like some random dude walks up to you at the club. It's like, oh dude, take this pill. Like it's not like that.
Yeah.
It's like it's an entire like event. You know what I mean? It's an experience that you're planning for and all that. So that's why I was going back and forth. Like, man, I wonder what I would do with that. But it's something to chew on, man. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So in most, I feel like most high profile people or like successful people go to those type of things to break through limiting beliefs or something from their past, a trauma that they've had a hard time working through that's limiting their success.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of what this I think it's magical. That's why they're called magic mushrooms. It's pretty legit. They grow on this planet. They're not created in a lab. It just puts you in a different mind frame to where you're able to visit traumatic experiences in your life or certain limiting beliefs or things that you've told yourself and really look at it and be like, is this true? And then essentially erase it or heal it and work through it in your mind and release it so you can grow, which is incredible.
Yeah. It's wild. It's pretty cool, dude.
Yeah.
Damn, we dropped some serious knowledge this episode.
Nice, dude.
I hope y'all got something out of this. Somebody listened to this. I did. I know I did. That's why I love doing these episodes. That's why it just comes natural. We don't got to plan nothing. We come down, we literally hit record. I do this 500 times and it just comes out fire, bro.
That's what it's about, dude. I just want a free rap. I love it. Guys, thanks for being with us this episode. This is Mr. Blake Roberts.
Yes, sir.
If you're taking notes, he is one of the top DFW, especially
if
North
not
DFW
the top
real estate agents.
Thank you.
We love it. I'm glad that we were here first with your announcement, working with Compass.
Yeah.
Super freaking dope, man.
Super congratulations.
Mental Awareness Company. What's your website?
JustAnotherReasonToLive.com.
Super easy to remember.
We'll also be linked down below in the YouTube description. We'll link. I don't know if you've got like a website or like a link tree that goes to like.
Dude, make a link tree. I just had one made.
We'll get that set
really
up.
Cool.
We'll get it set up. Yeah.
Anyways, thanks for joining us tonight. Today.
Is
it night?
Doesn't matter. Thanks for joining us for another amazing episode.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate being with you guys. Peace.
We coming.